Shannon Sharpe faces rape and sexual battery accusations. What to know? NFL Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe is facing serious accusations of rape and sexual battery in a $50 million lawsuit that has captured national attention. Court documents filed in Nevada on April 20th, as reported by NBC Sports, reveal allegations made by a woman identified only as Jane Doe, who claims Sharpe sexually assaulted her on multiple occasions and issued verbal threats. Sharpe has vehemently denied these allegations, labeling the lawsuit a shakedown orchestrated by Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Busby. In a subsequent video statement, Sharpe controversially revealed the purported identity of Jane Doe. Sharpe's legal team has confirmed that he previously attempted to resolve Jane Doe's claims with a monetary offer of at least $10 million, but this offer for mediation was reportedly rejected by the woman. The lawsuit, seeking $50 million in damages, was filed in Nevada on April 20th and alleges assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery against Sharpe. According to court documents obtained by NBC Sports, Jane Doe states she first met Sharpe at a Los Angeles gym when she was 20 years old and he was in his mid-50s. She recounts an initial encounter where Sharpe allegedly offered to buy her fake TS if she won a weight loss competition. Jane Doe's complaint describes a rocky consensual relationship that lasted for 2 years, during which time she alleges Sharpe inflicted intentional emotional distress. Among the numerous allegations, Jane Doe claims Sharpe sometimes recorded their sexual activity without her consent and later showed the footage to others. The plaintiff further alleges that Sharpe became increasingly controlling in the final months of their relationship, including one instance where he allegedly told her, "I will *ing kill you," after noticing she was attempting to share her location with friends due to safety concerns. Her court documents detailed that Jane Doe allegedly tried to distance herself from Sharpe after he inadvertently live-streamed himself having sex with another woman on Instagram in September 2024. According to the lawsuit, Sharpe allegedly confronted Jane Doe after she began ignoring his calls, leading to an incident of forcible sex without her consent in October 2024. The woman also claims in her court filing that Sharpe allegedly raped her again in January 2025 without wearing a condom. The 13-page complaint emphatically states, a woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations with a man 99 times, but when she says no even once, that no means no. Defendant Shannon Sharpe, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand this basic concept. After many months of manipulating and controlling plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her, Sharpe refused to accept the answer no and raped plaintiff. Despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no, Shannon Sharpe's response to the lawsuit has been swift and assertive. His attorney Lanny J. Davis told Us Weekly on Monday, April 21st, that Jane Doe's lawsuit is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and it will not succeed, characterizing it as a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. Through his legal representatives, Sharpe has denied all accusations in the lawsuit, specifically refuting the gross live rape. Davis' statement added he stands firmly by the truth and is prepared to fight these false claims vigorously in court. He looks forward to vindication through due process and a judgment based on the facts and the law. Davis also released text messages between Jane Doe and Sharpe, which he asserted proved this was a consensual relationship that included role-playing, sexual language, and fantasy scenarios. Sharpe himself released a video statement on Tuesday, April 22nd, describing Jane Doe's lawsuit as a shakedown. He stated via Instagram, "I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right." Sharpe suggested that Jane Doe's lawyer, Tony Busby, was orchestrating the lawsuit as part of a pattern of targeting black men, referencing Busby's prior involvement in cases against Jay-Z and Diddy. Sharpe also anticipated the release of a partial recording, saying, "I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened and you're trying to manipulate the media." In his controversial video statement, Sharpe named Jane Doe and accused her of a deliberate setup, threatening, "What they're getting now is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about, and I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. According to NBC Sports, Davis later confirmed in a news conference that Sharpe intended to file a counterclaim against the woman. Davis also reiterated that Sharpe had offered at least $10 million to settle the matter before the lawsuit was filed, an offer Jane Doe allegedly refused. Busby responded to Sharpe's video statement via Instagram on Tuesday, asserting that Sharpe had breached a confidentiality agreement the woman was required to sign during a brief mediation process. Busby wrote, "On the one hand, Mr. Sharpe and his lawyers claim that the case filed by Jane Doe is meritless, yet on the other hand they now have disclosed that Mr. Sharpe offered Jane Doe $10 million in writing not to file her lawsuit. That is a true statement. Jane Doe was in fact offered $10 million to settle but rejected that offer, choosing instead to proceed with litigation. Sharpe's team is now trying to discredit and dox her. Sharpe and his team are now, as anticipated, also attacking me. We are not going to be deterred by these tactics." The woman's legal team subsequently released audio on Wednesday, April 23, purporting to be from a phone call between the accuser and Sharpe, in which Sharpe allegedly threatened to choke her in public. Representatives for Sharpe have publicly questioned the authenticity of any recordings released by Jane Doe's lawyers. Reactions to the lawsuit and Sharpe's response have begun to surface. Shannon Sharpe's ESPN First Take co-host, Stephen A. Smith, addressed the situation on his Stephen A. Smith Show podcast on Tuesday, calling it a sad situation. Smith expressed his support for Sharpe, stating, "We've grown close as friends. I certainly root for him. I know he's been through a lot in life, he's overcome a lot of things, and when he departed from Fox I was more than happy to bring him on board here." He added, "So all I can speak to is what I know based on the reports, and I can speak about ESPN and Disney." Smith conveyed his hope and prayers that Sharpe is completely innocent, reiterating that his colleague has denied all allegations. Smith discussed the complexities of Sharpe's public defense, saying, "On one hand, going on the offensive to defend himself, I completely understand where Shannon Sharpe is coming from. On the other hand, when his legal team issued out the press release on X yesterday, they mentioned her name and revealed some of those explicit text messages. That was uncomfortable, and I don't know if that's a strategy that would work." He reflected on the difficulty of remaining silent during such times, noting, "One of the hardest things in the world for all of us to do is to just lay low and be quiet and let our legal team do it. And we don't always know if that's the right thing to do." Smith concluded, "I know, and I can tell you all. I spoke to Shannon, not in details, but I spoke to him, and he emphatically proclaims his innocence." According to Mr. Busby, his client emphatically proclaims his guilt. So where does that leave us? I'd love to tell you I know the answer to that question, but I don't know. Despite the lawsuit being filed over the weekend, Shannon Sharpe has continued to appear on ESPN.